Hello and welcome back to the X-Ring. Today I have a Staccato C2, the Duo. So if you want to see the full 1,000 round finishing up review on this, stick around. All right, so this is the Staccato C2. I do not own this pistol. I was not sent this pistol to me by Staccato. This was actually purchased, it was ordered, and the only difference between one you might see at the store is that this does have the threaded barrel, okay? So the C2, what it is meant to be is a compact version of something like a Glock, but in a 2011 style pistol. I know that the Staccatos have been approved by over 300 agencies across the United States, including like the Texas Rangers and the U.S. Marshals. Now, that's kind of foreign to me. Being someone that started in law enforcement back in 1991, I no longer do it now, but there was no way in heck I would have ever carried a double stack 2011 because I've used them in competition. I'm no stranger to 2011s or double stack 9mm, and I just don't know if they're reliable enough. Now, every review I've seen on this at the 1,000 round mark, they've had zero issues. I will tell you that this pistol was bought new. It has exactly 500 rounds on it, with zero issues. So what I want to do today is finish up those 500 rounds. We're going to do it on paper. We'll shoot some steels. This does have a hollow sun, a sealed unit on the top. It has a really nice grip. This is only 7.5 inches long with a non-threaded barrel. It's about 5.5 inches tall, and it holds 16 rounds in the magazine. It actually ships with 3 of those. The magazine release here is nothing crazy, it's nothing fancy, it's not textured, it's just a nice smooth magazine release. You do have the ambi safety here. It does measure 1.5 inches across, the ambidextrous safety. You do have co-witness sights, and if you guys are wondering what that Duo stands for, it is the Dawson Universal Optics System. So we can run this with irons, or we could run it with a dot and have the co-witness, which I really like. You do have an area here for your attachments, such as a flashlight or anything like that if you're going to use it for duty use. These are 100% made in USA in Texas, and my understanding is they hand fit each and every one of those with one gunsmith. I'm interested to see if this will make that 1,000 round test, because if it does, I'm probably going to change my opinion on carrying something like a Staccato for concealed carry purposes. I don't know why you would do it, because I know a lot of people that carry concealed don't really maintain their weapons that well. Another thing is regardless of what type of holster you have, now there are some holsters that allow the ambi safety. They will slide under here so that you can't disengage it, but I do know that almost every concealed carry holster, whether you're using appendix or 4 o'clock, at some point in your life you'll find that disengaged. Now you do have the backup beaver tail safety or the grip safety, but it's one of those depending on how you grip a pistol, because I typically don't grip like this. I typically, with my normal grip, have more of what we call north-south pressure, and I am squeezing here and here. So you'll notice that I don't activate this all the way. So on most of my competition pistols, this is actually pinned. I haven't noticed any issues with this, because one of the things with this pistol is you get disengagement somewhere before the half mark, okay? So it doesn't have to be fully depressed as long as we get to that half mark. So it looks like they've really thought about that for those of us that grip this way, and we could still fire it, okay? So let's go ahead and get on with this evaluation. For today's test, we'll be using PMC Bronze 115 grain round nose. Big shout out to Big Ivy Guns for providing the ammo for this review. Let's see if we can make it to the 1,000 round mark without any malfunctions. I will have a different opinion of carrying a 2011. This pistol has been cleaned and lubed, so let's see if it'll make it 500 rounds without any type of issues. All right, so the pistol comes in at 25 ounces. It is balanced pretty well. When you throw a magazine in here, like a 16 rounder, it does balance it out really nicely. The action feels really smooth and not getting any hang up on the feed ramp. So we're at 500 rounds exactly. We'll start our count right now, and we'll go ahead and shoot that VTAC target. We'll just do center mass, and we're here at exactly 18 yards. I do have a camera going on down range, and here we go. Just nice, slow firing into the box. All right, so everything's in the box where it should be. As far as the reloads, they feel very smooth. This is a very impressive pistol, guys. I really like that it has smooth recoil. The ejection pattern is kind of all over the place. And we'll go into 32 rounds now. All right, so pretty much everything in the box with the exception of one. I know that the sight is off a little bit. It shoots just a hair left and a hair high, so I'm actually aiming at the lower corner. Let's go ahead and load up another 32 rounds. As I know, even on my competition pistols, which I'll show you guys here in just a second, I already have an idea of the round counts they'll make it to before they need cleaning because they will start malfunctioning. There is typically a higher regimen of cleaning that is required on a 1911 style or 2011 style platform. These are precision machined weapons that have tighter tolerances that will make you shoot faster and more accurately than you'll probably shoot with any of those other variations of pistols. All right, here we go. 32 more. Right, so far so good at 64 rounds. This should make 800 rounds today in about an hour, hour and a half time. But that's what it's all about, having fun on YouTube, right? Trying to bring you guys that good content and let you make informed decisions about what you might buy or what you might carry, whether it's for competition or for self-defense. All right, so just from behind, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the plate rack. We're just gonna check it for accuracy. And here we go on the plates. All right, let's go for a dueling tree. Did not get locked back on that magazine. There it is, guys. And you guys saw that. Now I know this is a simple stovepipe, okay? Typically, if I could see the stovepipe, because I have an RMR on here, I should be able to sweep. Now you have an R or a dot on here, I should be able to sweep and I should be back in business. Chances are, it tried to get in the battery, it could not get that round out of the ejection port, but I guarantee you there's probably one in here. Let's see. There it is. And we didn't get locked back again. So guys, we are at about 650-ish rounds or so, and I had a stovepipe. You guys saw that I wasn't doing anything funky. I wasn't limp wristing it or anything like that. Right off the bat, I can tell you that's probably reason enough for me not to carry this pistol. We're using quality ammunition. It was cleaned at 500. We're only 100 and something rounds into this, and I have a stovepipe. Now, I'm not naysaying Staccato. I'm just saying I don't have these issues out of my polymer striker fired pistols. So let's continue and see if we get any more. And before you guys say, well, it needs some lube, that doesn't matter, okay? It was lubed before we started. We shouldn't have to worry about it. Let's go ahead and load up some more. Now, I will tell you, I'm probably not gonna make any friends at Staccato by putting out this video. I do have a lot of friends that work there that shoot for Staccato. That is not how I got this pistol. This is actually from another co-worker, Josh. You know who you are. I appreciate you allowing me to review this pistol. I remember when he actually ordered it, he waited about 2 months on this pistol, not quite 2 months, and he just got it about a week and a half or so ago. Guys, let's face the facts. If you are a law enforcement officer, chances are your pistol right now in your duty holster has some lint in it or dust. If you're not, if your pistol doesn't have that, then you probably have the name Tackleberry around your agency. I didn't work for some small podunk agency. The first agency I started with in '91 had over 2,000 officers, and I just know how guys in general and how ladies in general maintain their duty firearms. Now, this isn't considered a concealed carry pistol in that regard. I'm trying to review this in regards to being a 2011 platform. The more you neglect these pistols, the more malfunctions you're going to have. That's why I'm not a huge fan of carrying these for duty use. The other thing is, you're going to be carrying it cocked and locked with that hammer in the back position. And all day long, getting in and out of a patrol vehicle, you're going to get a lot of crud and debris. You're probably going to get ketchup and mustard all over your dot and everything else here. I just know how it is. And when you need it, you need it. It is not something that you kind of need it. It needs to work 100% of the time. Okay, you guys have always heard that saying. It works 100%, 50% of the time. We can't have that. There's no place for that. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to go for a T-box shot for that accuracy at 18 yards. So I'm going to take my time with it. Let's go ahead and see if we can put one in the T-box. And that's in the left eyeball. All right, let's go ahead and put another one in the T-box. And that is in the T-box. So just keep going. Just aiming bridge of the nose. All of those are going to be good headshots. Let's just continue shooting at center mass. So far, so good. All right, so we'll do steel at 18 yards. Actually, this is going to be 15. And so here we go with the holster, and we'll engage. Good so far, and we are close so far. Other than that one stovepipe, I'm pretty darn impressed with this pistol, especially for the size of it. So we'll give you some tips and tricks that if you're into what we want to call a defensive or combat pistol, you might want to keep in mind. So before we start shooting, like I said real quick, if you're going to shoot through an opening or a port, do not punch through the port. You want to be able to utilize that cover and stay behind it and just be able to duck left and right. It's pretty simple to do. I'll give you a demonstration of that, but always utilize that cover or concealment, whichever you've got. So this way, you're harder to see. You're concealing the center of your body here. So here we go on the plate rack at 20 yards. All right, getting down to the wire on this. So far, really good. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna shoot through those low ports. And those low ports could simulate something like underneath a vehicle. And what I'll do is I'm gonna go for these 5-inch steels on the dueling tree. And we'll see if we can hit those. Let me go ahead and get a camera down range and we'll see what happens. All right, so we're still at that 20 yards. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get down on the ground. I'm gonna use this area here. I'm gonna cant the pistol a little bit. That way my body is concealed behind the center portion right here. And we'll go ahead and shoot those. I have a camera down range. So I'll talk you through the steps as I'm doing it. And here we go. Try to get your draw done before you get to the ground. And those are all hits, 6 hits. What I typically do, and depending on the size of your chest, what you want to do is get your elbow down. You can rest your head. Unless you're left eye dominant, you're exposing very little of yourself. We'll go ahead and go 6 rounds. And we have all engagements on those. If you're going to do a reload, we'll just go for... because they've reset, I'll just go for the dueling tree again and do a reload. So we are, get back under your cover, get your magazine change done, and back on target. If you need to go this side, I'm right eye dominant. I'm not gonna be able to use my right eye. Some people will say you need to switch to your left hand. I don't think that's necessary. And what you can do is use your left eye right hand, impact, 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 impact. Oh, missed, impact. So you can get used to it. Even if you need to switch over, the ambi safety makes it nice. Impact, 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 impact. Right, so far good. It wouldn't be a video without doing some long range with this little C2. All right, so just like the other review, what I'm gonna do is we went straight from that 20 yard from that platform. We'll go 100 yards with this pistol. I've never shot this past that 20 yard distance. So far we're getting close to that 1,000 round mark on this pistol. Let's just go 1,000 or 100 yards and see if we get some impacts here. Didn't get locked back again, so like that's the 4th time. Right now I'm just shooting and no lock back. So we've magically gotten to that point where no magazines are locking back. We've got about 900 rounds on the pistol at this point. And that's not the end all be all, it's just something you need to be aware of. And I've got wind moving a little bit. And that's it. Notice what we've got. We've got another stovepipe here on the last round. So guys, this was my whole thing about carrying a double stack 9 or a 2011 for carry. You're gonna run into stuff like this that you normally wouldn't see on like a Glock or a striker fire. This is not the first time, and it was our last mag. We are jammed up. All right, this is what we've got left to finish the 1,000 rounds. 2 stoppages so far. Just underneath it. We did get locked back. Okay, so I've got 1 more mag left, but look at that, I got a stovepipe again. Jeez. All right, how about this one? You gotta subscribe if I hit this one at 400 with a dang C2 Duo. Got 16 rounds, here we go. Oh, I am all over this one. Just underneath it. Impact at 400 yards. You know what, guys, this is gonna take way too long, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish these last 2 mags out at 100 yards, and that'll be the 1,000 round evaluation. Here we go. Did not get locked back on that magazine. And that's it. 1,000 rounds, 4 stovepipes, no other type of malfunctions to speak about other than the mags not locking back. So in conclusion, the Staccato C2 fared very well. We did have 4 total stovepipes out of the 1,000 rounds. However, 3 of them occurred during the last round out of the magazines. Our magazines did stop locking to the rear. And with regards to the hollow sun actually lost that screw here. Now everything was tightened down before we started this video, and I know that's not something that you would normally Loctite or anything, but just be aware if you have a hollow sun, one of these models or something like it, make sure that you have that battery tray or you have any screws tightened up. It's why I'm not a huge fan of red dots for carry pistols unless you have a backup iron system. In that case, I think they're perfectly fine, but I've seen too many of these come off of pistols, lose battery doors, which in this case we're going to lose the dot if this keeps sliding out. But it's whatever you're used to. It is a lot easier to shoot more accurately with a red dot, but understand the fundamentals, and if you're getting older, like when you have older eyes, it is a little hard to focus in on that front sight. All of the fiber optics remained in place. We didn't have any issues with that. The pistol performed very, very well. So while it might be my personal opinion that I would not carry a 2011 for concealed carry or for duty use, your mileage might vary. You might be able to have that as an acceptable range of malfunctions for you, having those 4 stovepipes. For me, out of 1,000 rounds, I'd rather not, and I'll continue to keep carrying what I do carry. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.